Hi, I'm Beth Rypins with WineCountryCrossfit.com. A lot of times when people are trying to squat or they're trying to do anything overhead, there's all this limitation. So when they squat, instead of being able to keep their chest up, they might fall forward like this, or when they're trying to go overhead, they feel stiff and stuck. And if we can get the thoracic spine to loosen and open up, we can often more comfortably and manageably get into these positions.
I'm Christa Rypins with IntelligentBody.net, and we're going to mobilize the thoracic spine. Here is a picture of the thoracic spine. The thoracic spine is where the part where the ribs are. The ribs are called the thorax, and so this part of the spine is called the thoracic spine. And this part of the spine primarily is twist, but it has some forward back motion available to it, which is called flexion and extension. And today we're going to do an exercise to increase the mobility in this section of the spine, which will help us in our movements. So to do it, we're going to lie on the roller. And instead of lying on the roller normally with the head and the tail on the floor, Beth's going to scooch back so that her head is coming off of the roller. And she's going to bring her hands behind her head like she's going to do a curl up. And she's going to scooch back for her starting position so the roller is right at the top of her shoulders, so below the neck. So she's already in the thorax, in the rib section. And take a breath. And exhale, sink your rib cage into the roller and curl up with your upper body. So of course, you're going to try to keep your tail heavy, and you're going to turn on your core, your transverse, by having your knees pull a little bit together. Inhale, roll back. Exhale, you're going to sink your belly in, pulling your transverse in. Press your feet in so your inner thighs are connected, and curl up, staying neutral in your pelvis. And after you do a couple spots in each, a couple roll-ups in each location, you're going to scooch back an inch so you come between the next two vertebrae. Take a breath. Press your feet down. The ball of the big toe presses so you curl up with your upper body, stabilizing your pelvis, because we don't want to tighten the psoas, which is what tightens when we curl the pelvis in a curl up, because that's tightening at the front of the spine. So we want to keep the pelvis in neutral. As you exhale, she's going to sink the rib cage in, the sternum in, and curl up. How's it feel in there, Beth?
Good.
And now she's going to scooch back another inch and go between the next two vertebrae and the next two ribs. Exhale, sink in the front. Yeah, and curl up. Now, if you're new to this, it can feel not that good in the beginning. So you want to do it lightly, and if you feel at all sick or nauseous, then you know it's time to take a break. It's really strengthening for the abs, so be sure that you take advantage of that by scooping your lower belly in first and moving second. And now she's going to the next location, and the way you can tell when you get to the end of the part of the thoracic spine that we want to move is you essentially become unable to curl your upper body up. And the bottom section that we're going for is at the lower section of the shoulder blade. So she has a little bit more to go. Scooch back, Beth. And sink in the front and curl up. Great. So I'm checking to see where her shoulder blades are in relationship to the end of the roller. And she's about at the end, so let's come off of the roller, Beth. Feel your back on the floor for a moment, or just come up into standing, but it's nice to feel your back on the floor. Breathe and feel the difference.
Feels good.
And then come all the way up.
Oh,
feel the difference in your squat.
Much more comfortable in that squat.
And bring your arms overhead for an overhead position.
And I'm much more comfortable overhead.
Great.
For more tips on how to get loose and strong, come to WineCountryCrossfit.com.
And for more tips on how to release tension and feel amazing in your body and your mind, come to IntelligentBody.net.